Hey guys, hope you're doing good today. Today I'd like to talk to you about YNAB. I get a lot of questions lately about what I should do with my money or like what stocks I should invest in or all the other cryptocurrencies or fun things, but I wanted to make this foundational video because I've found that it saved me so much money and that's what allowed me to actually get into investments and stuff like that. As it says right here, gain total control of your money. I completely agree. It's been a huge blessing in my life and it helps you really understand your money and how it's moving and things that you spend too much on or you don't spend enough on or different things like that. So I'll show you. This is their homepage. It's $5 a month. Honestly, it'll save you probably a couple hundred your first month alone, but it's $5 a month, which is 60 at the end of the year. If you're a student, I believe that it's free. Beyond that, what you do is you come in here, right? You start your free trial, blah blah blah, sign up, and then I'm going to show you. I created a demo budget. So here we are. It's May 2019, and it seems like a good month. So what I wanted to bring to your attention was how customizable it is and how it's not very, discrete. Meaning it doesn't just bin certain things into categories like some other software might. The thing that I really love about it, and I actually use my personal budget. I didn't use my personal accounts over here, but I did take accounts that I have in my life and I replicated them here on the left. So you notice here on the left is all the accounts. So it's actually every account I can link from everywhere. So like these are my, I use Bank of America here, and then I have a Chase card here, and Interactive Brokers are these investment accounts, and then TD Ameritrade is somewhere around here. So it's kind of nice to centrally locate all your money. Most of the time, most of us just check in and look at our checking account or our savings account, right? And that's the money that we see. But really, it's nice to be able to track all your dollars here. And if you come into reports, if you've been using it for a month or two, it'll give you like your net worth or what you're spending on. It'll give you a nice pie chart, assuming that it's been developed and you've used it for about, a month or so. Oh, you can see here it is, net worth. And then you can see like I've got $100 of debt and $25,000 of assets. Okay, I guess that's a good ratio. Most importantly, you can check all your accounts, but the thing that's really awesome is that you can specifically categorize to your needs. So here's a couple categories that I use in my monthly budget. They give you like a template and everybody can be different, but I wanted to create my budget so you could specifically see, aha, this is very specific to Kevin, right? So I have like a charity. I don't know how much I give away every month, right? But there's a charity category, a student loan. I'm lucky enough to have paid off my student loans, but I wanted to show you you can have it in here. You can also put in your debts here on the left side and say like, I owe $30,000 of student loans, for example, and then you can put a monthly budget towards it, and then it will slowly pay down that budget. The other cool part about that is here on the left is you can actually link your accounts. You can come in here and link your account to your financial institution like Bank of America. I could say, hey, like I want you to import all my credit card transactions that come in. That way I don't have to sit there and hand punch in all the transactions that come out each month. From a high level, I created a category called immediate obligations. That's like my monthly budget, right? That's what most people do fairly well, in my opinion, especially the big expenses, right? So for me, I have to live in Reno and San Francisco for my job. It's just a byproduct of the job, right? And then I have two cars, which I am trying to trade because I spend too much on cars, as you can probably see here. Flights, fuel, right? Like how much do I spend on gas, car insurance, all these different things like, oh, my daughter's daycare. And then I have things like car wash, right? I get a $9 car wash at least once a month. Life insurance, right? If I die in one of these cars up here that I'm already paying too much for, haircut, things like that. So these are pretty common. Most people go, oh, I've nailed down how much I spend on groceries and I know what my electric bill is, right? The power of YNAB is not just here because the cool part is you have it right in front of you. So you could always mimic. You say, you know what? This month, I think I'm really only going to eat $300 out, or I'm going to make that a goal, for example. Down here is where it really comes in handy is the true expenses. So things that you don't think of that are going to come later in the year, know that they're coming, but it's very hard to budget for without some type of software like this assisting yourself, or unless you're taking cash and putting it in an envelope. So education, right? I never know when I'm going to buy a new book or going to need, new something, right? Like, I don't know. I have a lot of books over here that I love to read, right? So I have an education. Christmas is huge, right? Every year, the holidays get expensive. So what I like to do is each month I put in $30 to this Christmas fund, and eventually this will have 360 bucks. So the nice part is I'll know when Christmas comes around, all of a sudden I'm like, dang, I got to get my daughter and my family presents. Well, I've got an extra 360 bucks that I otherwise normally wouldn't have budgeted. So many things like that, medical, clothing, right? You don't always buy clothes every month, but when you do, it's nice to have them budgeted. Software subscription, I put $5 away for YNAB every month, and then I have 60 at the end of the year when it charges me. It's good. And then even I have this stuff I forgot to budget for tab. There's always something that pops up. You don't know which category to put it in, blah, blah, blah. The other nice part is quality of life goals. So, like, if I want to start a college fund for my daughter, which I do have, a new home fund or a vacation fund, for example, these are all things that I can budget accordingly. And each month, as my paychecks come in, I can put money in here. So you'll notice up here it says to be budgeted. Most of this money I've budgeted pretty precisely, but it says I got 50 bucks left. And I'm like, okay, great. Maybe I got paid one extra time this month because I get paid every 2 weeks instead of every month. So I'm like, you know what? I want to put an extra 50 bucks. I want to put an extra 50 bucks into this category. And now you'll say to be budgeted is $0. There's actually perfection in the YNAB scheme of things. You might be wondering, like, how did I learn YNAB, right? Like, where did I just knew it? No, I didn't. I spent a lot of time. I spend time every month perfecting my budget, and eventually you just become very good at it. And the nice part is YNAB will remember transactions, so like it'll remember Walmart as groceries as you go through time. And when I come over here, I can skip over to June, for example. You can see I have no budget. But when I click on like Reno rent, it'll say, hey, you budgeted 18 last month. Do you want to budget that again? You're like, yep, click, right? And then you go to rent in San Francisco. Is the same? Yeah, click, blah, 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 things like that. And it will keep it discrete into each month. And then as soon as you charge a transaction, like on June 1st, it will automatically go to your June budget rather than your May budget. The way that I learned how to do this and all these things is YNAB.com's got pretty good documentation. And most importantly, there's the big 4 rules. There's actually quite a few, but you go to youneedabudget.com and just type in, rules for YNAB. And it says the rules are magic, and they really are. Rule number 1 is give every dollar a job. So most people in life, including myself before YNAB, is I didn't budget every dollar. And you might think, wow, that's very meticulous for you to budget every dollar, but it's not. So if all of a sudden at the end of the month, I know like, oh, many people will say, I got extra $1,000 this month, but really you don't because you have a car registration is a good example, right? Your car registration is going to be due at the end of the year. It's $500 and you think to yourself, aha, I've got an extra $1,000, but you don't. You really only have 500. So you go out and you spend it on sushi or whatever. That bill comes in, you go, oh, dang, you haven't accounted for it. That's this type of software lets you account for all that type of stuff. Going on from here, what I plan to do is actually do what's considered the fun stuff, right? So I have checking accounts, right? Most people know what a checking is, a savings, credit cards. The other things I'm going to do is explain the different types of investment accounts I have and like why I have them. But first things first, I wanted you to like nail down this budgeting idea. And that is going to lead into how you even get money for investments because investments aren't any good if you don't have any money in them. I hate to say if you only got $1,000 in investments, it's a great start, but at the end of the year, you might make 10%, you might make $100. So you have to nail your budget down. That way you have more money to put into investments and not be a frivolous spender like I am on cars. I'm going to trade these soon, I promise. Okay, so you can see I have investment accounts. Investment number 1, it's a personal growth fund that I have, for example, and I'll explain all these. Investment number 2 is passive income. What's that, right? HSA, right? That's through my employer for health. Investment 3 is stock options that I get through my company that I purchase. A 401k through my company, right? A Roth IRA, a traditional, and inherited. If somebody in your life is going to pass away eventually, and I'll explain to you, things that you might want to do in each of these: college tuition, like a 529 plan, or Nevada has a prepaid tuition, and then cryptocurrencies, right? Like, you just want to put in $1,000 and there you go for cryptocurrency. So I'm going to break down what I do within each of these, and hopefully that'll give you a good feel for like the places and the vehicles in which you can put your money and the concepts that you can do within each of those vehicles. All right, guys, have a great day. I appreciate your time. Thanks.